that data. The IEA says that in order to achieve the net zero target, energy efficiency has to add at least, or can contribute to something like 7 million tons of CO2 reduction compared to the business as usual scenario. So we think that, and then this is the question coming to the next expert, Mr. Mas, can you give us an example of when energy efficiency technologies have been successful and providing environmental sustainability? Do you have some examples?
Sure, yeah, I mean, certainly I can give you many examples, and I can tell you that successful energy efficiency initiatives and technologies that have been significant or have made a significant impact on energy conservation. Now I can bring up examples that we have implemented within our company, within Riyadh Cables here in Saudi Arabia. I mean, you can start with LED lighting, for example, energy efficient appliances that we have applied, whether it's in our office buildings or labor camps, building retrofits to conserve energy, employing passive designs for buildings and so on when we build our facilities, using cool roof materials, for example, using smart thermostats, energy efficient transportation for our operations. I mean, typically conventional transportation is pretty costly and it can emit a lot of carbon. When you use alternatives such as railways and more efficient systems, especially if they're electrified, that's going to conserve energy as well. We have developed additional processes within our automated industrial facilities where we can conserve energy. So we're monitoring energy with energy monitoring systems. And then we're adding more automation into our industrial systems just to make sure that there's consistency and preservation of energy. Additional examples that we have developed as far as products, I mean, we started developing recyclable cables. These cables use less material, they require less energy to produce, and they can conduct more energy and electricity within the same manufacturing footprint. So, I mean, there are many examples of technologies and initiatives. It's very hard to count them all. I mean, some that we can mention, they were mentioned by the previous presentation that we had here. I mean, cogeneration of energy, whether it's combined heat and electricity, doing home energy audits, implementing the green standards, and so on. I mean, all of this would contribute to energy efficiency. Obviously, it's a continuous effort, and it's still, I would say, relatively new initiative, although it's been out for the past 20 years or so. But these initiatives are continuously developing, and there's always room for more technology to come up in this regard.
That's very important and insightful. Let me move to Mr. Bilal. Bilal, I'd like to ask you, as you understand, you come from EDF, so this is quite a strategic place for energy efficiency. So from your experience, what could have been the most latest technologies that recently EDF has developed? I know that you power generation, so you get from various sources. So what have been the latest technology that you have developed for the consumers to develop better and most energy efficient applications?
Thank you. First, there's one important parameter for energy efficiency. Energy efficiency, one of the main parameters is defining the baseline. Baseline defining the best in order to achieve the wide energy efficiency, we need to define the baseline. This can be done by several platforms with different means. The first one is developing energy management platforms. We in Dalkia, we have Dalkia as a service provider for EDF. We have what we call the Dalkia Energy Saving Center. This is one of the innovations that we have developed, where we do live and real data monitoring for all the projects that we do energy efficiency. I'm speaking here about building and retrofits of energy efficiency, not in terms of generation. The main point for us in Dalkia is, we mentioned always, you cannot control, you cannot manage what you cannot measure. For this reason, in terms of energy efficiency, if I would like to say, there's many innovations that happen in the market. So for us, for example, we can utilize in one project currently, as mentioned by the previous colleague. We are working to tackle the Rashid, Saudi Arabia. And with Rashid, we have implemented many years in managing energy efficient management. This measures start from high efficiency LED light, as mentioned by Mr. Maz, up ending to using high efficiency AC system, such as inverter technology, BMS system, and so on. One of the most important points as well, we push always in Dalkia, is pushing towards cooling plant. This cooling plant is sometimes considered as a non-conventional ESP. HVAC system consumes 40% of the energy consumption inside buildings. This cooling plant, which we ask all those people to go for it whenever it's possible, can reduce or enhance emergency the efficiency of your plant compared to conventional air conditioner plants.
Very interesting. Now I would like to move to our expert, Mr. Stephen, from the United Nations Development Program. Mr. Stephen, you come from a very special place, because UN usually deals with energy poverty, and we're trying to mitigate or alleviate or and target actually as communities where people have more access to energy. So what the energy efficiency, what does energy play in achieving your mission? So can you give me like case studies or examples where the application of your energy efficiency has been pivotal to the success of your mission?
Yeah, thank you very much. Energy efficiency is one of the, we can say, the low-hanging fruit when it comes to improving the lives of the people. I think it was mentioned before this panel that when people do energy efficiency applications, they are looking at their pockets, meaning that any time somebody decides to use energy efficiency, they are looking at how much money do I have, how much money do I use, and because of that, it's interlinked with every other thing that all the livelihoods that people do. And for us, from the United Nations Development Program, energy efficiency is one of the cornerstones of the things that we do to improve the economies of the populations. There is something else that I need to mention about energy efficiency. It's the fact that if the energy efficiency is very low, the energy intensity of growth, meaning the GDP you produce per unit of energy, it becomes very high. The energy intensity becomes very high, and because of that, countries are very they are not competitive compared with the other countries, and it makes the economies very inefficient. That means then you are sort of making the economies very poor. They are not able to compete with other economies across the world. So in our case, we look at energy efficiency from the supply side energy management and also from the demand side energy management. Meaning to say from the production to generation to distribution, a lot of energy is lost in that process, whether it is electricity, or whether it is fossil fuels, whether it is renewable energy. At the same time, when it reaches the consumers, on the energy, the demand side energy management, that is where we have a lot of work to do, and in fact, we have more opportunities for increasing energy efficiency. Thank you.
If we move now to Maz, as you come from your tables, how would you think the best practices or an approach that you could use to enhance consumer behavior? Because usually energy efficiency is all about how people would use their energy, whether it's a car that would like to drive to move from one mile to another, or you will use electricity at home. So what is the best approaches that you use to enhance consumer behavior?
Well, I can tell you there's really not a best approach to this, because I personally tried it within my home, my household, and none of it worked. No matter what you do, you can try and implement as much as possible. I guess you're right. Encouraging individuals to be energy efficient and use energy efficiently is a tough task. And it can be done by multiple initiatives or by multiple ways. You can do it through awareness and education. You can do it through financial incentives. A lot of people are driven or motivated by financial incentives. And you can do it by community engagement. I can list a lot of things that governments and companies and locals can do to be able to drive or change the behaviors of individuals towards conserving energy. I mean, sharing success stories, for example, and case studies illustrating the positive impact on the environment. Because some people are motivated by environment, the love of environment. Some people are motivated by economic incentives. You can, I mean, we talked about the incentives, energy efficiency programs. You can do community-based energy efficiency programs. You can implement smart technologies within homes, and then you can do behavioral nudges where, you know, a smartwatch that where you can look and you can see how much energy you have consumed today at your house or in your office or you doing your daily life. And that would help you actually in monitoring how much usage you are or how much energy you're using. Many things to list. Is it the job of individuals? Is it the job of companies? Is it the job of the government? I mean, it's almost everybody's job to be able to be energy cautious and try to conserve energy as much as possible. My favorite is to provide continuous monitoring and reporting. The gentleman just said that you're not going to be able to highlight or find the areas where we can conserve energy. So the more sensors, the more IoT we have around us, the more measurements that we can do as far as how much energy we're consuming, the better we will be able to enhance our behaviors and report data back to the individuals to be able to help them monitor their behaviors towards energy efficiency and conservation.
Thank you for your comment. Let's move to Bilal. Bilal, as you know, AI, big data, machine learning, all these emerging technologies are reshaping our economy. So how do you think the role of such emerging technologies can have enhance the future energy technologies and its uses and sustainability?
Indeed, AI. So indeed, AI has changed a lot during the last period. We have recently seen the evolution of ChatGPT and how it's going on in the whole industry. For us, energy efficiency, AI is not only limited to ChatGPT models and business models. We focus more on data analytics and how we analyze this data and the live feedback that we can get from this data. For example, the live feedback that we can get from energy efficiency project is an example that we are already implementing now in one of our projects in Saudi Arabia. It's one of our prestigious projects where we have a digital twin. This digital twin is a digital twin of one digital twin plant. The digital twin model, backed up with AI, can run multiple scenarios for how the plant should be run, checking and comparing how the live feedback or the live data we are getting from the plant, and checking if there's any inefficiency to try to enhance it and minimize the operation excellence in this unit. So for us, AI is still big added value for the energy efficiency, where we can check and enhance our models and live feedback from it.
Let me go back to Mr. Stephen. Again, you deal with governments and countries. So what is the role of policy in enhancing efficient energy consumption?
Yes, actually policies and regulations are the biggest part of the equation. You know, without the right government policy, citizens, industries, and everybody, they will not be able to reduce their energy consumption. Therefore, one of the biggest things a government can do is actually to ensure that they have the right incentives that will encourage their citizens and industry and everybody else to adopt energy efficient practices. That's one. The second one is they need to have